Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer, built specifically for NextWave ICT students. Today, we're not just looking at a machine, we're going to uncover the architectural elegance of everyday technology. Now, you interact with computer systems constantly, right? But today, we're going to break down the highly coordinated ecosystem that actually makes them tick to give you a rock-solid foundation in information technology.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll meet the computer system, break down hardware and software, look at data, people, and procedures, go through the processing cycle, see computers in our world, and wrap up with a final takeaway. Let's get right to it. Section 1. Meet the computer system. What exactly is it? It's easy to think a computer system is just that physical machine sitting on your desk. But actually, it's a highly coordinated, interconnected ecosystem. Its parts, processes, and people all working together toward one single goal, and that is managing information. So the really crucial point here is that this ecosystem is built on 5 entirely equal pillars: hardware, software, users, data, and procedures. Seriously, if you remove just one of those 20% slices, say the data or the users, the entire machine just grinds to a halt. They are completely interdependent.
Moving on to Section 2, Hardware and Software Explained, the physical and the digital. Hardware is all that tangible stuff, the metal, the plastic, the silicon you can physically touch, which is impressive, sure, but ultimately it's lifeless on its own. I mean, how does the hardware actually know what to do? Well, that's where software comes in. It's the invisible intelligence telling those physical parts exactly how to behave. Fun fact for you. The term software wasn't actually coined until 1958 by a mathematician named John Tukey. Before that, it was literally all just the physical machine.
Think about the hardware we use every single day. You can break it down into functional groups. You've got your inputs, like the keyboard and mouse. Then there's processing and memory, driven by the CPU and RAM tucked away inside the case. You've got storage devices holding all your files permanently. And of course, outputs, like the monitor displaying your work or the printer bringing it into the physical world. Now, those digital instructions we call software, they're divided into 2 main camps. First up is system software. Think of it as the stage manager, keeping the lights on and running the hardware, your Windows, Mac OS, or Android, that sort of thing. Application software, on the other hand, well, those are the actors actually performing the specific tasks you asked for, like typing a document or browsing the web. Basically, system software keeps the whole thing alive, while application software gets the actual job done.
All right, Section 3. Data, people, and procedures, the invisible glue.
In everyday conversation, we usually use the words data and information completely interchangeably. But in IT, they are very distinct concepts. Data refers to raw, unprocessed facts. Think of the numbers 85, 92, and 78. By themselves, they don't mean anything at all. But when the system processes them and gives them context, saying, hey, these are your recent math test scores, bam, it suddenly becomes information. Information is simply data that's been processed to actually mean something.
Next up is peopleware, and this is huge. Without users to operate, manage, develop, or maintain these systems, even the absolute most powerful supercomputer on Earth is really just a very, very expensive paperweight. It's human context that gives the system its ultimate purpose. We're the ones inputting the raw data, and we're the ones acting on that processed information. The final component here is procedures. These are essentially the rules of the road. It's the cryptography protocol that keeps your bank transfer secure, or, the strict password policies enforced at your workplace. Procedures are absolutely crucial because they ensure the whole ecosystem operates smoothly and securely, keeping the entire thing from collapsing into total chaos.
Section 4, the 4-step processing cycle. Let's see all this in action. So what exactly happens in that tiny fraction of a millisecond after you press a key on your keyboard? I mean, it feels instantaneous to us, right? But a highly coordinated, multi-step sequence has just been triggered under the hood. It all flows through 4 distinct steps. First is input. You press the A key. Second is the lightning-fast processing phase. The CPU runs that electrical signal through its software to actually understand the command. Third, we get output. The monitor illuminates the exact right pixels to show you the letter A. And finally, storage. When you hit save, the system commits it to the hard drive. Input, processing, output, storage. Whether you're typing a single letter or calculating orbital mechanics, this cycle is always exactly the same.
Moving on to Section 5, computers in our world, real-world impact.
Because they are so incredibly efficient at the managing information, these systems literally form the backbone of modern society. Schools use them for global digital learning. Banks process millions of secure transactions every single second. Hospitals rely on them for life-saving monitoring. And global businesses, well, they run their entire operations through them. And this isn't just about convenience. These systems are vital for survival in a data-driven world. Just to put this into perspective, humanity generates over 328 million terabytes of data every single day. That is absolutely mind-boggling. We completely rely on computer systems to filter, process, and communicate that unimaginable ocean of data across education, finance, entertainment, and beyond. And that brings us to Section 6, the final takeaway. Let's wrap this all up. Ultimately, as we've seen, a computer is never just that physical machine sitting in front of you, and this brilliantly illustrates why. To truly master information technology, you really have to look at the whole picture. This 5-part harmony of hardware, software, users, data, and procedures all working perfectly together. Because at the end of the day, you are the peopleware that brings this entire system to life. You dictate what data goes in, and you decide what to do with the information that comes out. So as these systems become exponentially more powerful every single year, the real question is, how will you choose to use them tomorrow? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.